Hello everyone, today we'll continue with our afterburner. So for that we need our tool head, and I'm again using Dragon hot end normal flow. I need to remove this coupler. So with removing these two screws from here, we are removing this one. I'll put the heater and the thermistor. For heater, again I'm using 50 watt heater from Triangle Labs. For the thermistor, same one with my V2, comes with some spare cables or something. The hot end should be placed like this. So this part is, there is no excess of this heater block. Heater block will not go to this side. So, and our cable will be oriented here via these clips. So that means I need to bend the cable here. So for that I'm using again heater block, just pushing where the cartridge ends and bending the cable with help of the heater block, carefully bending it. I'm bending when the two cables stop on each other, not bending like this, but here. So I will do same for the thermistor. So I will bend it first. Again, when the orientation is, the cables are on top of each other, so like that. As you can see, I'm just milling the heater block and the cartridge and a little bit tighten it. Don't over tighten it. So if it is not moving, the heater, that's okay. Same with the thermistor. So my cable, since it will be placed like this, my cable will be oriented like this. I will not over tighten this one also, just a little bit for now. We will use this M2, I guess, M2s, which came with the hot end, and this one will came here with M3 by 16. Done. Now I will lose these screws, a little bit shake the hot end and tighten one of them. Now tighten the diagonal one. So I tighten this one. Now I'm putting a screw and tighten this one. Here, tighten this one. Again, go diagonal and tighten this one and check the screws. You also need to put the Ptfe tube in here. I just cut the Ptfe tube straight and sharpen the corners. You can use pencil sharpener for that. Now I will insert the Ptfe tube till the end. From this flat surface we need to leave Ptfe tube 10mm length, but not from here. From the flat surface we need to put 10mm. So I'm basically using this measurements in the mat. So with the machinist square, mark the 10mm. Cut it from the mark. Let's continue. And now we need M3 by 40. Yes, we will just place the screws. I will also secure the cables of the thermistor and heater with the zip tie. They are routing the heater cartridge cable from here. The cable is not here but here, and routing like this. But yeah, I did the same orientation in V2. I think it does not matter that much. So, but yeah, in the manual it's showing the wiring path of the heater is from here. It's turning the heater block, so be aware. So yeah, let's put the sock. So yeah, I think it's, yeah, it seems nice. Now as a next step we will put this one to our gantry. With these two screws it will hold in place. So It's actually, so if you remember, there's a printed part on the gantry, on the X gantry. So it will basically clips the here from here and place it here, and with these two screws we will secure it. I put the hot end on the gantry. If you see, I shorten my belts with the same tooth number and hide them in here, and with these two screws, the hot end is holding to gantry, and these two M3 by 12 we are also placing. These are stressing the plastic. We are not tightening this one. These are for the guides only the guide for this part, the hot end part. So if you want to change it later on, you are just unscrewing these two, and you are basically taking the hot end part of like this, so tilting in the back and removing it. So for put it's vice versa. So you are placing this guide first. You need to place this part to guide it, so like this under the screws, then put this and tighten these two screws, and this will secure your hot end on the gantry. Now we will continue with the clockwork. So I'm checking this part. As I remember, it needs to be shorter than 3 mm. Seems now it's 3 mm, but I will also check it after install it. So this part needs to be doesn't contact with the motor. So for these bearings you have two. One of them, as you can see, there is no thumb screw. The other one has thumb screw. So this one is thumb screw. So this one will be installed in this part, and these bearings should fit in here. Okay. So first let's start with this one. I will apply the thread locker on the thumb screw. There is a flat part on the shaft. It needs to sit on that flat part. So yeah, as you can see, it's after tightening a bit, it's not moving certain amount of angle. That means it's sitting on the flat part. Then flash the bearing to this gear and tighten it. Now we will put the bearing. So it will become like this. So as you can see, the bearing is not flush with the pin in here. That might cause an issue, but it's easy. If it is, it needs to be shortened. Just remove the bearing and fly this part a bit. That's all. I'm not sure the other part. It's a little bit longer, but I'm not sure it needs to be fully flashed or not. I will check with the parts. The gear is scratching the plastic part. So, by the way, this is the kit from the Triangle Labs. This is the kit came from with the motion kit. By the way, it was pre-done like that, pre-made like that, I believe. But this one seems more reliable. I will check this one with the motor, and if the sound is again coming like that, I will not use that one. So I will check it with the motor, like I said. Let's continue with the other parts. So the gear without the thumb screw. We will also place the gear, and it will sit on the printed place. It's not fit, so yeah, like that. Yeah, it should move like that. Now we will place our motor plate. For now we will secure our motor with M3 by 8 in here. I will not tighten this one yet, because later on we will adjust the position with this screw. You need to put also here on the motor, and the orientation will be like that. Thumb screw, I will also apply the thread locker. I didn't go with the flush with the motor. I just put just a tiny bit of gap between the motor and the gear, and don't forget to use the flat part on the rotor for the thumb screw. Also don't forget to put the thread locker. We will put the motor plate on the motor, but I will not tighten it. This screw, like I said. Here is one. As I feel this part is touching the motor, so I don't want that. I will just file this side to reduce the length. If you remember, I said this part needs to be shorter than 3 mm or 3 mm. So right now I'm feeling that it's touching the motor, so I will file it. Now I filed my bit in here. As you can see, it's not passing through the bearing, and also I can also show you when I push this stack, it's not passing the plastic part, so that means it's not touching the motor, so that means it shouldn't cause any problem. This will be placed in here. So now if you can see, it's a moving part. We need to arrange the position of the motor. So for that, just push your plastic parts a bit. Then once these are interfering each other, tighten your screw. So with that, as you can see, these are turning each other. Don't forget to put your bearings. We will put the other parts with M3x30, with two M3x30. We will secure the housing. At this point, if you feel this BMG gear and the motor's gear are not properly touching each other, you can untighten this screw, loosen this screw and push the motor against each other through this stack and tighten this one. When you move this one, rotate this one, your motor bearing should be moving. If you remember, we already prepared this one. It's recommended to loop this part, this bearing. This bearing is actually operated by this bearing. So for these two, I will apply the lubricant, but it's only for that part. This is the filament pad, so we will lube this part. So we will place that one in here like this. So feed it from here, place this one in its place, and put this one in here. Then with M3x20, I will secure the opening mechanism. It needs to go all the way through. Do not over tighten it, because the hinge, this screw is the hinge basically for this part. And also for here, if you tighten too much, this won't be fitting in here. So it needs to be tightened in a way that this whole part needs to be secured, and this part needs to be open and close. After that, with another M3x30, we will place it here. This is our grab screw, so you need to put a spring and a shim. Use preferred plastic one if you have it. This will be here. So this is for the adjusting the tension. If I open this, your filament should be moving freely. Actually, let's do a test. I just feed a bit. Now manually I'm trying to feed it. The gears, I can push it, or I can retract it and I can extract it. And now when I pull manually, it's not skipping. It's all gear driven, I mean. And you can also, I don't know, can you see it? I don't think so. Yeah, let's try this one. Yep, if you see, it's biting your filament, so you can also adjust this biting via this thumb screw. So for now I will keep it like that, so it needs to bite your filament a bit but not too much. It shouldn't be a loosen, so it's skipped. So for now it seems fine, and I'm not feeling any binding or something. Now I need to put the anchor to the motor, so these two screws needs to be come off. We need to insert this one in here and put the screws back. With M3x20 we need to put it back because the old screws are short now, and our cable chain will be put it in here. And next one, we will put this on the tool head, and with M3x20 we will secure it on the tool head. But for now I will do the bed noob part. So we need to open this one, like that, with the flat screwdriver. Just open this one. It's just a nail connection, and we need to cut off these ears with the side cutter. I could manage to cut it just a little bit, filing. I think I need to file these nails also. We will put our spring in here. We need to put our hot end fan. Yep. And this cable needs to be routed via here. Let's put a label so later on. Hot end fan is this one. Place the back, and this spacer will be attached with the screws. So now I will mount this on the gantry and see you in a bit. As you can see, I assembled I put the clockwork and the afterburner on the gantry. So the cables are coming the right side. So normally there will be a small room for the cables if you use direct connectors. And yeah, now I need to complete my wiring, and after that we can start for the software part. So that was all for this episode. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.